Hey guys, this is Carrie from the Masters Fitness first official podcast.
Gotta start somewhere, baby.
Oh God, somewhere for sure. First one, get it out of the way and just kind of go over what we are and who we are and what this is all about and how this started. And this started kind of here.
It did. I'm Chan Ganaway, and so excited to have the very first podcast because you got to start somewhere, folks. Yes. So I hope this is one of 1,000 over the next 2 or 3 years. That'd be amazing.
Because we got a lot to say.
We do. A lot of observations, a lot of years of observing. But this couch where we sit 8 or 9 months ago was actually where the idea was born to give 40 plus lots of love when it comes to health, fitness, and programming. And so we thought we'd come right back here to the same spot and launch the first podcast. Don't know if number 2 is going to be here, but this is where we're going to start this one because it does mean something to us because it was a very long cup of coffee that morning 8, 9 months ago where the Masters Fitness concept was tweaked and born, and the names we had like 7 names, and we finally decided on this one. So we really hope that you're with us for a very long time. So let's see, what do we got?
Well, part of the name was the Masters Fitness because both of us, being in the fitness industry, me for about 30 years, you for about 23 years.
So...
Yeah, we've been there, done that. We have been master trainers for several different fitness platforms. And the other thing is that we're both 40 and up, which puts us in the Masters division of any multi-sport or,
Yeah, just competing-wise, athletically, competing-wise, the Masters age group is very, very, very common. In some organizations, it's 35 and up. Others, it's 40 and up. Sometimes it's 45 and up, 50 and up. But generally speaking, 40 and up is the idea behind Masters age group category. Yeah. So that was another reason for the name, just so you understand it.
Cool fact.
Yes.
The Masters Fitness division is actually growing every single year in these. So
yeah, if you're racing, if you're out there, listening, the 40 to 50s are beating a lot of 20 and 30-year-olds just because of, the deep seasoning that they have with conditioning and training and smart training up here. So so
and that's what it's about, smart training. So my background comes with just being in the fitness industry early on when I was about 17 or 18, started teaching, and my first job, remember?
Yeah, Let's Get Physical was the name of the business. Hello, Olivia Newton-John.
Yes, my
was that who did?
I loved her. Yeah, absolutely. She was one of my favorites. Anyway, I was really passionate about early on, and just remained that way. Took some positions as master trainer with several companies, and I just really passionate about what I do, and I know that you share the same passion.
Yeah, we're going to get into, and I'll go first, but we're going to get into really, we came here with very different paths, which is kind of interesting and unique, that I grew up, sports was everything. 12 months a year, sports was it from the time you're 8 years old to the time you graduated high school. So it's just always been a part of my life, fitness and training, it just always was. With her, she is very unique and different in that this was the 13-year-old kid in the late 80s who actually had a gym membership and would go to gyms. So her father was a big role play and influencer in that because he was a big runner, cyclist guy. But she did not grow up in team sports of anything, any level, but always had the gym thing going on. Whereas I didn't have the gym thing going on, but I had the sports and training thing going on. So it's very interesting. We got here very different ways, but I'm going to talk about my journey the last 23 years, and then she'll go into her journey of 30 years of how she got here. But mine really came from being a personal trainer first. I was volunteering and heading up multi-sport clubs and actually putting on races in Louisiana back in the mid-90s. And I went over to do a state championship triathlon, and I actually finished with a guy. We were sprinting. It was a Louisiana State Championship. I'll never forget it. His name was Rob. And we were sprinting to the finish line of the Louisiana Triathlon State Championships. And anyway, we ended up laughing about it and having a conversation. And he was a general manager of a health club in Dallas, Texas. Well, bingo, 1997. I packed up my stuff from Louisiana and moved to Dallas to pursue my fitness career.
Tell him what you were doing before.
With New York Life.
Yeah,
I was suit and tie every day. It was all
total
good.
career
2.5
change,
years,
right?
3 years with
Yeah.
New York Life, kind of following in my dad's footsteps. But I'd always put a lot of my spare time, a tremendous amount of my spare time, was in facilitating people getting together and training. Whether it be the multi-sport club that we had called Team Roadkill, which was a fun, unbelievable 4 to 5 years before I moved to Dallas with that multi-sport group. But it's just always been in my blood to educate and motivate people to get moving, whether it be low scale or high scale like a triathlon. So I launched into it, right? Training. And then quickly, because I had some of that management sales background, I was a manager, and then quickly after that became an educator and an approved provider. By 2000, I was an approved education provider for National Academy of Sports Medicine and American Council on Exercise. Moved to California, mind blown. I'm right there with the elite of the elite in fitness, and was very fortunate over about a 6 to 7 year period to learn from the best. And what I observed in mentoring young trainers and observing clients in these big box gyms and studios, whether it be spinning back in the day, which is, I started teaching spinning when they launched spinning. Thank you, Johnny G. But it's really incredible what I got to observe over a very long career so far, 23 years. And then about halfway through my career, moved into the studio world, the boutique studio world. So I got to watch it a little bit more intimately. But I got to watch it for 7 years with the company and brand you probably know of, Orange Theory Fitness, where I got to watch thousands of workouts over a 7 to 8 year period, with most of the clients being over 30. And a lot of those being 40, 45, 50. It was a great product for that group. So here I am, 45, 46, 47, watching all this happen. And I'm an educator, so I'm creating content and all this good stuff. So, you can just imagine everything over 23 years that I've learned, observed, watched, been educated on, and then educated to people about 40 plus, really how to be safe and all that good stuff, which we'll get into a lot deeper, trust me. But that's how I got here with the concept of being 52, by the way, I am, and learning and wanting to really help this, not a niche, because we're talking 30, 40 years is who we want to talk to, 40 plus. We feel like they need love. We feel like they need education, programming ideas, and also what we do is good for general public, and it's also going to be great for fitness professionals who are finding themselves training a lot of the 40 plus, which I think you and I talked about.
Yeah.
That category is what? It's booming.
It's booming.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Generation X, the baby boomers, all this good. It's really...
But that's booming, but the fitness profession is actually booming as well. So we have a lot of new people coming into the fitness industry, and a lot of people that are not new to life and life's, damage under the hood.
And I think that's where you're going to take over. I think
Yeah.
this is a good spot. So that's my journey, how I got here, and now her journey, which is very different. Go for it, babe.
So my journey basically started, like he said, I remember it was my dad asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I was 13 and I waited and waited because you had to be 13 to be able to go and work out without your parent. And I wanted that gym membership. So I got a gym membership, and I remember just falling in love with the group exercise programs and started doing aerobics. Interesting fact that there's so many aerobic injuries. Crazy, right? Injuries because of taking high impact aerobics, knees, hips, ankles, back, because there was no regulation on it. And people were just like, yeah, sure, wear your Keds on the cement floor and let's do, repeater high kicks. And that's going to be perfect as long as you're sweating and you look good. But that really actually damaged people's bodies so much more. There was more injuries in group exercise aerobics than there was in the NFL.
Now, to have perspective, we're talking late 80s,
Late
early
80s,
90s.
yeah.
Late 80s, early 90s.
But that's when I was in there. So I look around and I'm like, gosh, all this wear and tear. And luckily, I kind of came into the industry when there was regulation. So I started to learn the correct way to coach and teach and take care of myself as well as take care. But, growing into weight training, fitness one-on-one, teaching classes like spinning. If you came up with a fitness thing, I was teaching it. That's just, I have so many certifications, I can't even keep count. So I grew up in the gym taking or teaching all of these different, style classes, and some of them were great.
And those people, though, those early adapters that we'll just call them, so the early adapters in the general public, right, that said, we're going to do fitness, because that wasn't a big percentage of the public, right? What are they doing now?
Well, I mean, if they did it correctly, they're our age, and they're still continuing to work out and maybe lead exercise, but I looked for fitness. I looked for it. I didn't have team sports, but I really was active and competitive, and I really liked exercise. I just was focused in music, so I wasn't as focused in team sports. So that was my outlet, my way to be able to exercise. I like it. I'm kind of rare. I think we
certainly
are rare, right?
In that time frame,
Right.
incredibly unique to have someone pursue it and really love it and passionate about it, instead of I need to do it,
Right.
I have to do it. It's good for that.
Where I think our generation is now, like the people that were in our generations, if they didn't do sports, I'm talking for females mostly. And maybe males, but if they didn't do sports, like they weren't really as active as most.
Yeah,
so
to
now,
see a woman in 1990 working out in the gym, in the weight room by herself would have been a very unique scenario.
Right. So nowadays,
whereas now,
it's all over.
Yeah.
It's all over. And that's so awesome, I think, for our kids.
And comes with
a lot of people that are now in their 40s, 50s, women that have been stay-at-home moms or at the workforce, but their bodies are starting to, show signs of early aging, health issues, things like that. And so maybe for the first time, I can't even tell you how many women come to me. I'm like, have you ever done athletics? When's the last time you worked out? And they say years. I mean, years. So here they come to me. Luckily I have empathy and knowledge of what their bodies are feeling, which is taking 40 to 50 years of their life and not exercising. And now all of a sudden with their aches and pains and probably about 20 to 40 pounds of extra body weight, throw in some hormones and you've got a cocktail of a hot mess. And you'll get coaches, and this is what Chan and I see 20-year-old coaches or boutique fitness studios.
And where she's going with this is what really inspired me. She is very connected to the biological changes that are going on. I'm super connected to what education needs to hit the fitness professionals in the US or the world who don't really have a grasp of the tweaks that we need to do to program properly for 40 plus. Which is why I'm giving a speech in Anaheim, California in July based on this very subject. We're creating it now, we're building the content for it, but it is really intelligent training and programming for the 40 plus, and it's subtle little things. And don't get confused, when we talk about training under the Masters Fitness umbrella for 40 plus, we're not talking about gentle fitness.
No, we're not talking like chair, like senior
Stop.
fitness. It's
We are talking about an intelligent approach, warm up, get the body ready, warm it up at the right pace, do the right movement patterns, and then also putting on top of that all of the common exercise restrictions that we have observed. These aren't things that we read in books, although we do read books and we do get certified and we keep that education going. For us personally, these are things that we see every day. We see this every day. She has conversations every day. I have conversations every day. What percentage of your clients right now are 40 plus? 100%?
100%.
So 100% of her clientele right now privately are 40 plus, okay? And mine is 40 plus. I do not do a ton of personal training because I have a full-time gig based out of New York that I'm working on. But it's 40 plus. So not only are we, but we also have experienced it, observed it as managers, as educators. And so here we are to this point.
And
where,
I want to add on
yeah,
to your, like, what our bodies go through physically, but let's throw in the emotional piece of
Yep.
of
the
feeling
baggage.
right.
Let's be honest.
Let-
we come with it.
I know. And so I want this to actually be a little bit more of a conversation too, that we're talking about, like, there's feelings attached to coming into the fitness, to a gym.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
absolutely.
right?
Insecurities,
Women-
not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
We go in. Because when a client doesn't know what to do, but they know that they need to go, they do the same thing over and over
Yeah.
and over again. There's no diversity in what they're doing. They go to the piece that's comfortable, which is a treadmill, 3.5 miles an hour. We do our 30 minutes. That's not knocking them.
No.
They shouldn't know what to do. No one showed them what to do.
Right.
So there's a lot of emotional.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a tiny slice.
Well, we
but
laughed
there's a lot
about
of it.
this the other day. We were talking about this and how it is for men, right? And let's face it, men come with a 3-letter word, and it's EGO. So, okay, so your buddy says what? Let's
Wait,
go to CrossFit,
that's
right?
ego.
Or
Right.
let's go to the gym, man. We'll do some chest, and the guy gets in there with his little shoulder impingement issues and starts throwing
This
out
is
the
stuff
bar.
we see. We're not judging.
Yeah, we're not, but
We see this every day. All
But
right,
what
we see
happens-
it. But grown men, okay, that do not have stepped away from fitness for many years, sometimes 20, 30 years. They come back and they do exactly what they did when they were 21.
pick up where you
Exactly.
left off.
It's like that 25-year period didn't happen. I woke up, I'm 48,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go to the squat rack.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the bench press,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to know anything about warm-ups, how to get the joints prepared, not acknowledging the 15,000 days of wear and tear that you have now versus the 8,000 days you had back then. I'm telling you, like I said, we're not judging. We are
No.
here to educate, inspire, motivate people to do things the right way. And I'm telling you, guys are the worst. Women will ask.
We'll call
Men
that
won't ask.
We'll call that fearless fitness, and then females are more fear fitness because they're like, "Ooh, I don't know."
But they
I don't wanna
ask.
try
They're
that.
better at asking.
They
are.
are, but sometimes.
I got you.
Yeah.
But we're horrible. Men are horrible at asking. So the men can sit back in their cars and listen to a podcast
Mm-hmm.
or watch it at home. And so you don't have to be, your ego will not be crushed
No.
if you don't know something. That's why we're here as other fitness professionals are here.
Here's another scenario we talked about too, is that so we have these individuals that come in that haven't done fitness in a while, right? Or they were coming back off an injury, or they used to be former athletes, and now they have jumped into a cool workout, boutique fitness workout, and there's a lot of people in there and the energy is up and you're feeling really good, and all common sense goes out the door because you just want to compete with everybody that's in that room, right? And you have a very good coach, but an unempathetic coach who doesn't see things that maybe because they're like 12 and they feel awesome doing that power push up or whatever it is, and so giving options to people. So we want to educate both the mainstream people in the gym 40 and up, and also the fitness professionals, so everyone can be on the same plate and say, okay, you're an individual, you're not like everybody else, let's focus on you. That's the same for diet and nutrition. Your
Your
gut,
30-year-old nutrition is not
gonna-
your 45-year-old
I can't eat the
nutrition.
same things, that I used to be able to eat, not because I don't like it anymore. I love it. But my gut doesn't. Something happens that it's just like, no, I don't like that anymore.
Well, a little
So-
teaser in the presentation that we're doing in Anaheim, California in July, is 40-plus-year-olds absolutely know their goals. So when they come back to fitness, or they know what they want, but they don't know their bodies. So that's a huge problem. When you know your goal, but you don't know your body, there's a lot of opportunity there for things to go south. And by no means are we saying that everybody goes in the gym gets injured. That's not what we're saying. But we are saying there's a very smart way to do it. And a lot of times, when you hear the best educators in the world speak about wear and tear as we get older, it's not the one thing that you did. It's the bad stuff that you've been doing for years. And then all of a sudden, it's that one wrong movement that's been going to happen for 20 years. And bam, and
Yeah.
you're done, right? The shoulder's gone, the knee's gone, the hip's injured, whatever. So it's really about trying to give people information, and hopefully we can inspire and motivate people to really be thirsty for that.
Right.
And
And then future podcasts are going to include, topics that, and we'll pull in our friends, because we've got a bunch of them in
come
the
on,
fitness industry.
50 years
Like,
being in the industry.
really smart
We know
people.
some people,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
And we're going to bring in the endocrinologist. We're going to bring in an orthopedist. We're going to get advice from the best. And we're going to really try to help you guys out with the real professionals that can come in and do basically consulting as part of our podcast. So the future is going to be very, very bright. We're super excited. Physically, we absolutely go out and do public speaking and education. We've done it certainly here. By the way, where are we?
We're at the beach, Melbourne, Florida.
Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah.
The beach is about 500 meters that way.
Super great.
Literally, I'm pointing 500 meters to the beach. So I've only been here about 8-9 months, and it has been amazing. A nice, sleepy little surf town. Great place to focus.
of fit people.
Love it. Yeah, it's really surprising.
And a lot
Sleepy
of 40
town,
and
but
up that really want to live their best
isn't that
life.
Crazy. It really is interesting. When
What's
you
our
move, when you move away, it's funny. When you move away from kind of urban markets and you go into suburban markets or sleepy little surf towns, everybody's 40 plus.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I
So
think
we're in a good
that
spot.
we are in a really great spot to be able to practice what we preach and to stay active, because it's about intelligent fitness for the second half. Like, we've already done the first half and we've learned a lot, but now with what we have to continue the right way, educating ourselves and pulling back sometimes and listening to our bodies, right? And
that's the hard part,
Yeah.
is going 2 steps back intelligently to then go 10 steps forward, which is the intelligent approach that we want to give you guys. So.
Well, I think it's going to be a great podcast season, and thanks for being on board with us. We look forward to answering any questions that you have, so you're always able to email us. We'll leave all the information underneath our post, or you can always visit themastersfitness.com and reach out to us if you have any special needs or requests of a topic you'd like us to hit. All right? So there we go.
There you go, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you soon.